There's been quite a few Roadrunner games made over the years. Desert Demolition, Death Valley Rally, and Wile E. Coyote even had his own NES game. But this is the first time I've played a game based on Wile E. Coyote's cousin, Ralph Wolf. In the old cartoons, Ralph didn't hunt Roadrunners, he hunted sheep. And the only thing standing between him and his dinner was Sam Sheepdog. The funny aspect to this series was that they had a professional work relationship. Ralph and Sam would clock in and clock out at the start and end of each workday. And that's where this game begins. One day after Ralph has come home from work, he's paid a visit by a very shitty looking Daffy Duck. Daffy started a new show, the Sheep, Dog, and Wolf Show, and he wants Ralph to be the star. Really, Daffy's just there to guide you through the game and show you the basics on how to play. So yes, you play as the red-nosed Ralph Wolf. Wile E. Coyote had the black nose. I gotta say, one part I really enjoyed is Daffy's studio audience. If you spin the camera around, it reveals the crowd, and it contains a big grab bag of Looney Tunes characters. It's cool that they put in the extra work just for a quick shot of the crowd, but it's a shame that the rows have to repeat. See how Speedy Gonzales is in there multiple times, for example? I know that there were enough Warner Brothers characters to fill that whole crowd. How about Playboy Penguin, Mark Anthony, Claude Cat, the Dodo, Egghead, Cecil Turtle, the Three Bears, Goofy Gophers, Spike, or Beaky Buzzard? I mean, come on! The gameplay involves going through different levels, attempting to steal sheep while Sam Sheepdog stands guard. You're supposed to try and steal one sheep per level and bring it back to Daffy's TV studio. When you first see this game, you'd probably think it was a platformer. But make no mistake, this is a puzzle game through and through. It's all about figuring out how to get the sheep to the goal. Each level presents some new element, and it gets harder as it goes. As you get closer to the flock, Sam's face appears in the top of the screen. His color will change, indicating if you're in Sam's field of vision. Running ahead impatiently is gonna get you into trouble. If Sam spots you, you'll get punched. Because of this, you have to use stealth to avoid detection. Ralph will dress up in sheep's clothes or hide in bushes, all to stay hidden from the sheepdog's watchful gaze. It's kinda similar in gameplay to Metal Gear Solid. The graphics are like any game from this era. Everything looks like a polygon. It's kinda funny to go back at this point and remember what games from this era look like. Regardless, everything is clear enough to understand what you're doing. The colors are vibrant, and there's little environmental details scattered around like butterflies that'll pass by, which will show you that they put in extra effort. And the game's soundtrack is like 70s porn music, which is kinda amusing. The voice actors also do a good job, and they sound like they should.
I hear you're trying to steal Sham's flock.
The level design is well crafted. Before each level starts, it shows an overhead view of the whole stage as a preview of what you're in for. From the farms to the desert landscapes, it certainly makes you think of the backgrounds to an old Looney Tunes short. Figuring out some of the puzzles can be quite challenging, but what makes the game's difficulty tolerable is that you have infinite lives. If you die, Ralph just respawns again, so you can try as many times as you need to. Some of the camera angles can be pretty bad at times. The camera will swing around to an unfortunate angle, but many games from this era had camera position issues, so it's kinda what you'd expect from a game from this time period. So I'll describe one part in particular that aggravated me. On level 4, there's a part where you need to guide Sam over to a button using the magic flute. You hide behind the rocks and sneak up, getting really close to him. Once you're near enough to him, you play the flute by hitting X. This hypnotizes him, and Sam will now follow you wherever you go. Once he walks over to the button, a boulder will drop down and crush him, giving you your chance to go grab a sheep. But the amount of time that they give you is pathetic. Already, Sam's back up and coming to get you. It's only a couple of seconds. Now you have to hit X to pick up the sheep. But guess what? You still have the magic flute selected, so when you press X, Ralph starts playing the damn flute again, and then you get caught by Sam because you were too slow. What you have to do, you have to deselect the flute as well during this whole ordeal by pressing L1, and they don't give you nearly enough time to do any of this. It is completely frustrating. But after many attempts, I finally got the hang of it and I got my sheep over to the raft. I can't stress enough, this game requires a lot of patience. If you like games where you just sort of rush through the level, this will not be for you. Since this is a Looney Tunes game on the surface, you'd expect it to be some junky kids game, but it's a surprisingly creative, tactical experience with a great use of stealth that gears it more towards serious gamers. For example, here's one part that took a bit of figuring out that I thought was cool. On level 3, you'll find the elastic. You can use this on the tree to bounce up and down. While you're bouncing, you can select other items. If you use the lettuce that attracts the sheep, you can lure the sheep over to the other button, which opens the gate ahead. Then you go through the gate, and now there's another tree to use the elastic on. This time, while you're bouncing, you put some dynamite on the elevator and then press the button. The elevator will raise and blow the rocks away. As you can see, it gets pretty complicated, but that's great. The challenge is welcome. And to top it off, Sheep Raider has a great sense of humor. Usually when games attempt humor, it ends up just falling flat. There's moments that'll actually make you laugh out loud, or smile at the very least.
Oh, and if you get hungry, don't eat the bush.
I think that this would be a great game to remake for a current generation console. As for the PlayStation version, yeah, it has its share of problems, but still, if you like classic Looney Tunes shorts and are into puzzle games, then you'd probably enjoy this. Give it a try sometime if you can hunt it down. Happy hunting.